Welcome to Forbidden Planet TV. I'm Andrew Sumner, and I'm proud to introduce the second half of my conversation with Britain's first lady of the paranormal, Yvette Fielding. And Yvette came along to the Forbidden Planet TV virtual green room to talk to me about her career in the paranormal and her new novel series, The Ghost Hunter Chronicles, the first book of which, The House in the Woods, is available for pre-order right here. Yvette had a ton of interesting things to say about her career and about the paranormal. So here's the second part of our conversation. Enjoy. The book that you've created is the first in an ongoing series of novels for young adults. Yeah. So what led you to creating the Ghost Hunter Chronicles?
It's very strange because I've often thought that to myself, where did these characters come from? And I know it sounds peculiar, but I honestly think I don't know. I just woke up one morning and thought to myself, these three characters came into my head. Where they came from. I think Eve is sort of, there's three characters, Clovis, Eve and Tom. And I think Eve, I sort of thought of a younger me, really, when I first started. And her sort of 1 minute she's scared to death and screaming, and the next minute she's like, no, come on. It sort of reminds me of me a little bit. So I sort of thought, if I was into the paranormal at 13, how would I be? So I sort of wrote that. I didn't write the books for a specific age group. I just thought, what books do I love to read? So I just wrote as if I was writing it for me, really, in a way, in my voice. And it's quite funny, really, because I don't think of myself as a writer, but I suppose I am now. But I find it absolutely. I love going into that world. And I suppose you hear this all the time. That sort of immersing yourself in the characters, and you're diving into that wonderful world, and I absolutely love it. And the second book and the third book, and so the world that they go into becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's not just about ghosts, it becomes about the supernatural. So it's absolutely covers anything from werewolves to vampires to aliens to, I just want to cover all of that, because the whole supernatural world completely fascinates me, and I just want to encompass the whole thing, really, and watch these three 13-year-olds grow with it like I grew. When I started, I think I was 31 and now I'm 52, so it's sort of that growing and your beliefs and how it changes, and are they ever going to go, that's it, I've seen enough, I don't want to do anymore, I'm too frightened, do a bit of me, and then go, actually, no, come on, we've got to go back to it. But it wasn't a kind of, I'm going to write a book about three kids. It just came to me. I don't know why. And I'm a firm believer in the other side pushing you creatively. I think a lot of people, a lot of musicians, and I wonder if you've heard this as well, lots of musicians, lots of film writers, directors, screenwriters, artists, they will actually say, it just came to me in a dream, or it came to me in a thought. And I really believe that's the other side influencing you to do something.
I think the thing that makes a lot of creative people, having spoken to a lot of creative people over the years, and I think the thing that makes a lot of creative people different from regular people knocking around through life, I think we all get those moments of something comes to us, like a lightning bolt, like an avalanche of the mind, and it's like, wow, this concept's dropped into my head. And what musicians, authors, screenwriters, filmmakers, whoever, playwrights are able to do is go, I am going to commit myself to this idea right now. I think we all get those ideas, and whatever your job is, whether you're driving a truck, whether you're a security guard, whether you're a doctor, whether you're working for a building society, you have these moments where it's like, bang, oh wow, that's so interesting. But not everybody pursues that path,
No, it's so true. So I'm a massive Beatles fan. So you look at like Paul McCartney. He actually says that he dreamt, yesterday. I think it's called Scrambled Eggs.
Scrambled Eggs, it was, exactly.
It was called Scrambled Eggs to begin with. And then he, when he was going through all the troubles with Apple and John and the rest of the Beatles, he said he had a dream, and it was his mum, Mary, that came to him in his dream and just said, let it be. Let it be. And that was it. That was the title. Oh, that. So I really do believe that a lot of, like you say, a lot of all these creative juices that come, you know, bang, like Most Haunted, where the hell did that come from? You know, we know where Karl and I got the idea from, but it was like we were both being pushed by an unseen force, and everybody turned it down. Nobody wanted Most Haunted. They all said it was, no, absolutely not. We don't want it. This is a rubbish idea. I think Channel 5 actually said we were unprofessional for even thinking about doing such a terrible idea, you know, on film. And 6 months, and we sunk all our life savings into this pilot, and that cost us a few £1,000s to have it edited professionally and so on. 6 months, and it was purely just a friend of a friend who just went, I want it, and that was it. So, but all the time, I really do believe, people will go, you're crazy, but I do believe it's the work of them. Go do it, you know.
And it's very interesting you say that, because that strikes me, that's the gamble, of belief, the gamble of self-belief. When you really truly believe in something, nothing's an obstacle, because it sounds like an enormous thing to say, I sunk my entire life savings into that, but actually that gamble has massively paid off for both of you. It's transformed your lives, right?
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. It's just the most bizarre thing. I can't put it into words how bizarre the whole thing is. You know, I mean, when we first started, it was like, you know, if a vicar came towards me, you know, they'd run the other way. You know, it was weird, and I've had death threats, and oh my God, all sorts of weird, crazy people not quite liking, you know, you're the weird ghost woman, you know. And children.
It's such an interesting place to occupy, though, in the national consciousness, because that's who you are, of course.
I know,
but you're a very amiable and upbeat person. It's not like you're walking through life with a robe and a scythe in your hand. You know, you're very upbeat. You're very upbeat and jolly.
Yeah, that's only on a Saturday.
That's exactly Saturday mornings.
Yes. It's very strange because I suffer with vitiligo, which is, I used to be quite dark skinned, believe it or not. And so, of course, my hair is sort of this sort of dark and white bits in it. And I thought, after the COVID thing, the pandemic, I thought, I'm going to just let my hair grow natural with the lack of hairdressers. And I put a photograph up there. I didn't realise, but all these fans were going, oh my God, it's Morticia, or not Morticia, it's the lady in the Paranormal or the Monsters, Morticia Adams with you know, the hair. And I thought, oh my God, I'm turning into one of those
Lily Munster. Lily Munster has that hair. Yeah,
that's it. Oh my God, it's happening. I'm transforming.
That is brilliant. That is absolutely fantastic. Let me ask you another question about the book, because something I wondered about your process in creating The House in the Woods. So you've got your 3 characters. Did you find that in writing for those voices, did you find that they ended up taking on a life of their own, that basically they ended up guiding you through the story? Because people have different experiences when they write, you know. Sometimes it's like, well, I sit there in a kind of omnipotent kind of way and guide these characters around a chessboard, and some people experience it through their characters. What was it like for you?
It was weird because I write longhand first, and as soon as I excuse me, as soon as I put pen to paper, I use an ink fountain pen, and it'd be like my hand was taken over, and I'm just writing away. And Eve was very easy, like I say, because I imagined her to be like me. And Clovis is this beautiful, very tall black boy whose family, he lives with his mum and his brother, and his mum is a very proud Jamaican lady. And my lovely friend, who's actually here, she's through the other room now, Debs, she sort of gave me the inspiration really for Clovis's character, because you know, her family's from Jamaica and so on. And so I was saying, because I've been to Jamaica and at the Windward Islands with Blue Peter's, and we were there for 6 weeks. But she was sort of saying to me, you know, oh no, Clovis wouldn't do that, or you know, his mum Claudette wouldn't do that, or this is the food they would eat, and so on. And I love doing the research, as you know, with books and characters, and really getting into it all. And Tom, I sort of just thought of my son when he was a footballer, because Tom is, you know, just a crazy 13-year-old that loves football, and his football is his life. And so that's exactly as, you know, Karl and my son William, you know, he was a crazy footballer, and that was it really. And so combined with those three things, and the hands just flying off the page, I didn't really have to think about it. It just came to me. It was just bizarre. And it is strange getting into the mindset of a teenager and remembering, you know, what was I like? What were my friends like when I was a teenager? But because times have changed, you know, I was a teenager in the 80s, you know,
Yeah.
things like, you know, our kids are all grown up now, but things like knowing that, you know, you don't get homework now like we used to get homework. Homework's done online, you know, and just little things like that, and having to make sure that, you know, they've got their iPhones, and they text each other, and it's all that modern stuff, and they think, oh my gosh, you know, getting in the mind of a 13-year-old and that type of thing. It was easy to do actually, and really enjoyable, and I really love the characters.
Yeah, I bet it was a lot of fun, because I think you know, part of what you and Karl do, I think fundamentally involves having an open mind. And I think if you're writing and voicing younger people, what you need to be able to do it convincingly, if you're older than that demographic, is to have a very open mind about their experience, you know, and be open to new things. And that's how, because that's the mindset you're in when you're a teenager. Everything's new and everything's an exploration, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's why it's perfect for you, given the fact that you're constantly exploring.
The only thing that I found very difficult, I have to say, was I have a potty mouth. So when I'm sort of like doing Most Haunted, you know, most of the time on television it's bleeped out. But the only I just know that when I was 13, I did swear, you know, but you know, so it was very hard for me when say Eve was being scared to death, or, you know, Tom was being scared, I wanted to write in shit, you know, or something.
Of course. I
think I'd put one shit in there. Because when you're frightened, or, you know, you will go, oh my God, you know, you can't help it. But then I thought, no, actually, some teenagers, actually quite a lot of them don't swear, you know, so you've got to, it's really weird sort of. And at the time, my daughter, I think when I first started writing it, she's 21 now, she was sort of 18 really. Mary, you know, would a 13-year-old swear? Well, some would. It was like, oh gosh, you know. So I just had to, no, just be brave and just go for it. You know, what was I like when I was 13? Well, I was a bit of a potty mouth, you know. But I just sort of had to sort of, you know, squash it down a little bit, you know.
So what's next for your cast of characters? So House in the Woods is book one. How many installments have you written thus far?
Well, I've written two. Of the first book obviously is out on the 30th of September. The second one is with the publishers now. That's all finished. And now I'm just starting the third. And the second one, I'm really obviously excited about the first, but the second one sort of, it really opened, it sort of, the eggs cracked now, as it were. And sort of, they're really getting into it, and, you know, becoming ghost hunters. And there's, you know, they're becoming more confident, and the cases are starting to come in now, and, you know, they join this amazing sort of underground secret group, and I just really enjoyed sort of, you know, where's it going to go, the third book? And I'm thinking, maybe shall I take them to Transylvania?
Well, you've got to take them there at some point for sure.
Yeah, and what I love doing is, and that's what I think the publishers like, is the fact that everything that I write about, so obviously not everything, but most of the things that I write about, I've experienced myself. So things like, you know, if I take the characters to Transylvania, I've been there. You know, I've been to Dracula's castle. I've investigated, you know, some amazing places down there. Being dropped down a well, you know, on my own, and standing. I got to the bottom. Oh my God, I was on this seat, this little wooden seat, and I was dropped down so many hundreds of feet. And at the bottom, I was stood there and I was crunching on these things. I thought, what the hell is that? And they were human bones.
Whoa, yeah.
And it was like, oh my God. And I thought, if the rope breaks now, we're in the middle of Transylvania. You know, it's not a place that, right up at the top of these mountains, it's not a place that they can get a fire truck to come and rescue me. You know, it was a long way down, and I felt very claustrophobic. So things like that I want to be able to write about. And you know, all my experiences and the places that I've traveled and investigated, I want to bring them all into the books. And I think as a writer, I think that's really important, so that the reader goes, oh my God, you know, they've actually been there. They've actually been to this. You know, in the first book, there's a part where Eve gets a bullet thrown at her, an empty shell. And that actually happened to me. And I write about it in the back of the book. It was at RAF Raynham, and this poltergeist activity was kicking off. We were being pelted by these empty shells, these rifle bullets. And I've collected them, and I've got them here in the house. And I thought, right, well, I'll use that as part of the book. And all sorts of objects have been hurled at me, and, you know, hurt. The biggest one was a crowbar, big metal crowbar, and I felt it brush my ear as it came flying past. I thought, gosh, 1 inch to the left and it would have knocked me out. So I like to write about all my experiences, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, and that no doubt has given you fuel for an ongoing series, which is exactly what you created. I mean, I think it's such a brilliant way to be able to stretch yourself creatively, but also combine your experiences over this incredible ride you've had within the paranormal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were talking about the burning and scratching before. So in the second book, that becomes quite apparent, and it's the first time that the kids have actually come across anything like that. And you know, should we continue? I don't know what to do. This is, you know, and there's a wonderful character in there called Uncle Rufus, who's this sort of, you know, science and physics lecturer at university by day, and at night time he's an inventor of all the ghost machines, and he's up in his attic, but no one's allowed in there, not even the kids, you know. But he's sort of you know, makes sure and looks after them in the second book, you know, and introduces them to this really weird world that he has secretly been a part of for many years. And so that sort of adult bit comes in then, that sort of, which is quite nice for older readers, you know, and his world, and this wonderful character who's a police inspector who I've based it on Margaret Rutherford.
Oh, brilliant, fantastic!
You know, very sort of she wears a sort of, you know, this wonderful tasseled hat, you know, and has a cap, a cape, you know, and everywhere she goes, it's the cape, you know, and come along, we've got an investigation to have. I love all of that. And also in the second book, it's you know, for anybody that loves the sort of the history of Jack the Ripper, it's the ghost of Jack the Ripper that comes back, and so I'm quite excited about that.
That would be amazing. Margaret Rutherford is a big favourite of our chief creative editor at Titan, a guy called David Leitch.
Oh, really?
Who, and on the side, he creates this comic book strip based on Margaret Rutherford, which is called Psychogram, and it's as if Margaret Rutherford is a cuddly grandma half the time, but is essentially, you know, the guardian of a kind of, you know, the portal to hell on the other side of things. So she's capable of like tremendous demonic evil, you know, but that's totally his inspiration. So, you know, you're really tapping into that.
Yeah, if it ever comes to light and that comic ever gets made into, so I want to play that character. I've always wanted to play. I don't know. I'd love a sort of get a fat suit on, you know, that. I've always wanted to play, you know, that sort of Margaret Rutherford character
with that wonderful diction, which you've already got nailed. So, you know.
Yeah, it's fantastic. What a character! You don't get them like that anymore, you know.
You really don't. You really don't. That's so very true. Yeah. Hey, Yvette, thank you so much for coming and talking to me about your new book, The House in the Woods, the first episode of the Ghost Hunter Chronicles, and about your amazing life, yours and Karl's amazing life in and within and without the paranormal. It's been lovely chatting to you.
No, it's been lovely. I could chat to you all day. I tell you, it's been really lovely. Thank you so much for having me on to chat. It really has been wonderful. Thank you.
It's been great to see you. And The House in the Woods, book 1 of the Ghost Hunter Chronicles, is available for pre-order from the links attached to our conversation. And please, when the world comes back to the regular world comes back to some semblance of normality, come and pay us a visit at Forbidden Planet, and maybe you can, sign some books in the store or whatever. That, because I know the Forbidden Planet fan base would just go mental if you would go nuts if you joined us.
I would be honoured to. Please, let's organise it, because I would love that. That would be fantastic. It would be really great. And if ever you fancy doing a Most Haunted experience, Andrew, you must come on.
1000%. I'm all in on that. Yeah.
Carl's just said, would you like to come and join us on a film?
Oh, I would so love to. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. I'm all in. I'm all in.
Well, brilliant. Let's organise that then over email, and we'll do that.
So lovely.
You will be like, oh my God, this is when you hear the knocking phenomena that I talk about in the book. When you hear the knocking phenomena, you'll be like, why isn't science doing something about this? This is amazing. You will love it.
I am 1000% in. That is brilliant. And once more, this has been Forbidden Planet TV. I'm Andrew Sumner. I've been speaking with Karl and with Yvette Fielding, the one and only Yvette Fielding, about The House in the Woods, the Ghost Hunter Chronicles Book 1. Take care of yourself, mate, and I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
All the very best.
Bye-bye, love. Bye.
If you're enjoying watching Forbidden Planet TV and you're enjoying watching us talk to the world's most interesting and accomplished filmmakers, authors, artists, musicians, creators, subscribe right here. See you soon.